Okay, let's try this again. I'm gonna share with you guys my favorites from the month of July. Not a lot of things have changed since the month of June, so if you haven't checked that video out, watch my June favorites, and I'm just going to share just a few things that have changed. So this video is not going to be as long as the last one. Excuse me, I need to sneeze and okay. Anyway, welcome. If you haven't been on my channel before, my name is Mercedes and this is the Wholesome Project, which is just a space that I share with you my journey as I navigate the health and wellness of my mind, my body, and my spirit. So again, welcome. Yeah, let's get into the video. Let's get into my favorites. Okay. First up, let's talk about my favorite skincare in the month of July. Again, my favorites haven't really changed since June, so the things I liked in June, I still like now. The only thing is that I actually started using a lot more a lot more sheet masks this month. I have used sheet masks in the past, but then this month I picked up some of the Garnier sheet masks, which come in I think a set of 6, and I like them because unlike the other masks which I normally use, because I have different brands of masks, I use the AHA BHA mask from The Ordinary, I use some Drunk Elephant masks, I use I think the Deep Sea mask from Kiehl's, I use a bunch of them, but those masks actually require you to wash them off at the end of the 15 minutes or whatever time it says at the back of the product, and sometimes I don't want to do that. Sometimes I just want to be able to put on a mask, get dressed for the day, and then carry on with my day. And so that's where sheet masks come in, and I've just been really liking the fact that they have a variety of different types of sheet masks, and I can get all the benefits that I'm looking for and just carry on with my day. I don't really have to wash off anything. So they're time efficient and they're lazy girl proof, and that's why I like them. Next up, I'm gonna talk hair care. This month I've been using the Black owned brand Auntie Jackie's. I think a lot of us are transitioning out of the former products that we were using, especially if you use a lot of Shea Moisture, because a lot of my products were from Shea Moisture, and have been moving towards some more Black owned brands. And that is difficult to do when you live outside of the US, because a lot of these brands don't actually sell in Austria and in Europe in general. And that's why I like Auntie Jackie's, because it's easily accessible for me. I can easily just go in the store and pick it up. Well, not easily, I have to go to the African store, but still it's accessible. And I think that's also why I used to use a lot of Shea Moisture, because Shea Moisture is just everywhere really. But I now use the Auntie Jackie's shampoo, the conditioner, the leave-in conditioner, the deep conditioner. I just switched up all my products, and even though my hair is away right now, I think that their products are very potent and they actually really work. So I've really been liking them, but I only started before now. I think I was only using the deep conditioner, but now I'm using more of their products, so I'm gonna test it out and see how I like it. Again, we don't really have a lot of options here, so it's not I can choose from a variety of brands, but it's nice that at least this Black owned brand is accessible here. Now, in terms of apps, I will say one app that I've really been loving and has really changed my whole lockdown experience is the Fit On app. And I really like it because it just gives you a bunch of workouts that you should do. Now, the main reason I like the Fit On app is that it's not behind a paywall, which a lot of these apps that do give you these home workouts are. Its free version offers a lot of great workouts, and I really like that. Also, it gives you advice. For example, I clicked on advice, and it just shows me already articles about how exercise can help anxiety, about how to improve your lower ab workouts. It just has these great wellness and health articles, which I'm a sucker for anyway. I typically read stuff like that anyway, so it's great. And also it has a meal plan feature. I don't really use that feature. I just use the workouts and I scroll through the articles sometimes. But anyway, it gives you 3 workouts, I think totaling like an hour worth of workouts every single day. It bases it off of things that you've said that you would like to work on. So it asks you a bunch of questions when you first download the app, and it curates specific workouts for you every single day based on, you know, the answers that you gave. And I think for the free version of the app, because it does have a paid version and has more features, I'm guessing, but for the free use of the app, it does offer a lot of great features and it's a great app. So yeah. Now this will not be a favorites video without me talking about my favorites in film and television, because obviously I love TV shows, I love watching film. Unfortunately this month I haven't really watched a lot of things, and that has just been my new vibe. Like in the last 2 months, I've been taking it slow with a lot of the, you know, film and television content I've been consuming, just because I'm trying to focus more on me, like creating and writing my own stories. So I've been like, you know, trying to consume less of that. Nonetheless, I did watch a few things, and 2 of those things I will share with you because I will say like they were my favorites. One of them is the Skin documentary on Netflix by Beverly Naya, and she's a Nigerian girl, yes, like me, and she's also like an actress. Like, so I've seen her in a bunch of movies, but I believe this is her first documentary, and it's called Skin, and it's just about, you know, colorism and also the bleaching industry in Nigeria, and how bleaching is a huge issue that we have, and how that like relates to colorism and how people view light-skinned people versus darker skin. I just enjoyed the fact that a lot of the people that she interviewed were very open and very brutally honest about how they view their skin color and how that has affected just the decisions that they made in terms of where they wanted to live, in terms of their career, in terms of even deciding to bleach or not to bleach. And I really like that. But I will say, it wasn't my favorite documentary. I'm happy that she did the documentary. I'm happy that the documentary exists and that she pulled it off. I think that the production is amazing, but I struggle to see what the point of it was by the end of the documentary. And I don't want to spoil anything, but I will just say that the story was not as strong by the end of it. But nonetheless, I think it's a great watch, and if you haven't seen it, support your Black artists and your Black creatives and just watch it. You know, it's only, I think, an hour. Like, it's not that long, it doesn't take that much time, and it's actually pretty entertaining. So yeah, the next thing that I want to like shout out and I will say it was something that I really enjoyed watching this month, is the South African TV show called Blood and Water. The acting was, those kids can act. I want to research and find out how old they are and like, you know, how they got cast for the show. I'm like curious like that, but I just didn't have time to get into it. But anyway, I really liked that TV show. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. I want Netflix to renew them for a new season. Like, they haven't renewed them yet, and I don't understand why. Obviously, I've aged out of like high school drama because like all that stuff is so 2010 to me. Seeing what like their high school experience was like in contrast to my experience in a Nigerian school is just so like fascinating to me. Like, I just find it so cool. And yeah, like I think it was a great show. It's about, I didn't even say what it was about. It's about this girl called Puleng, and she comes from a family of 3 kids, except the first kid, who's supposed to be her older sister, got kidnapped when, like, I think when she was like less than a year old, and her parents have celebrated the birthday of this missing daughter ever since. So she's just always lived in the shadow of her sister and doesn't know who her sister is, because obviously like her sister was kidnapped before she was even born, or her brother was even born. And she then like goes to a party and meets this girl called Fikile, who actually might be her sister, and just her like navigating that and trying to do that investigation for herself and trying to discover if this girl is her long lost sister. And in between all of that, you get a sense of, you know, the class issues in South Africa and what high school looks like over there, and like, you know, just the different things that they're navigating in their society, like what their music is like. It's pretty interesting, I will say. It's like kind of, you know, if you watch Gossip Girl, like you would like this show too, so check it out. Now let's talk about my favorite Bible lessons that I learned this month. This month I've been reading the book of Acts. In case you have never read the book of Acts is really just talking about the acts of the apostles in the early, so I think that's the full name, the Acts of the Apostles, and it just talks about all the things that they did in the early church, right? And I think that's the first church after Jesus Christ has now returned back to his Father, God. It talks about everything that they did in that early ministry and how they advanced the gospel of Jesus Christ and how they faced persecution and how, the things that they said and all of that stuff. So I've been reading the book of Acts, and I've just been enjoying reading about a time when the church was so united and so in agreement about everything that they believed in, and contrasting that with our present church and how we are scattered around denominations and scattered around opinions about doctrine and just divided. It's so, I don't know what word to use. It baffles me on one hand, and on the other hand, I understand why, but it's just been very interesting for me to read. And now I'm going to read for you a portion of Acts 3. I'm reading from Acts 3 verse 13, and this is shortly after Apostle Peter and Apostle John have encountered a beggar who was unable to walk from birth. And they have just healed him, and everyone who knows him as this beggar who, is always by the gate of the entrance to the temple, they are surprised because they know him to have been unable to walk this whole entire time. So they're like, okay, what is going on? And so Apostle Peter says to them, "Why does it surprise you? Why do you stare at us as if by our own power or godliness we had made this man walk? The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the God of our fathers, has glorified his servant Jesus. You handed him over to be killed, and you disowned him before Pilate, even though he had decided to let him go. You disowned the holy and righteous one and asked that a murderer be released to you. You killed the author of life, but God raised him from the dead. We are witnesses of this. By faith in the name of Jesus, this man who you see and know was made strong. It is Jesus' name and the faith that comes through him that has completely healed him, as you can all see." Now, the only reason why I like it is because of all the different descriptors for Jesus. They call him the Holy One, the Righteous One. They called him the author of life. They called him God's servant. They called him the Messiah further down. They called him a prophet like Moses. And Moses, if you know, is the deliverer because he was the vessel that God used to deliver the people of Israel from the hands of the Egyptians. So they called him, I just love all the different descriptors for Jesus in this chapter 3, when Peter speaks. And just reading it and appreciating the various expressions of Jesus Christ and the things that he came to complete and fulfill in every single one of our lives is just really, really refreshing and nice to read. I don't know, it just makes me feel good when I read stuff like that, and so I really, really liked it. The last thing I want to talk about in terms of my favorites for the month of July are my favorite habits that I've been doing in July. Number one is that I started bullet journaling again, and I talked about that in a video on my IGTV. Follow me on Instagram if you don't already so you can check out the video that I'm talking about. But basically, one of my intentions for the month of July was to manage my time better, and so I eventually had to go back to bullet journaling and just blocking out specific activities for specific hours so that I could be more productive, and I've been enjoying doing that again. And last but not least, another habit that I've enjoyed in the month of July is something that's actually pretty new for me because I typically don't do this. If you know me, I live in comfortable lounge clothes 24/7. I don't understand why I have to be uncomfortable in my house, but I have realized that staying in your pajamas all day while comfortable could be very anti-productive. So I've now been getting dressed every single day and just putting on clothes that are not pajamas, that are not necessarily comfortable, but nothing too formal. Just, a pair of jeans and a t-shirt is fine. but I just try to change out of my pajamas like first thing when I wake up, and it has really helped my productivity. I guess there's just something about changing out of your pajamas or changing out of comfortable clothes that kind of just sets the tone for your day and makes you feel like, you know, you're ready to get things done. And yeah, like it's been pretty good. It's been going well. I've been doing it now for maybe like the last 2 weeks, and I really liked it, so it made it to my favorites. Anyway, that's it. Look out for August favorites, because I definitely know that Fenty Skin is going to be one of my favorites, and I will be definitely reviewing that. So yeah, that's it for my favorites. If you like this video, like it and share it with your friend. And yeah, guys, subscribe. Like, just because I don't ask you to subscribe doesn't mean you shouldn't subscribe, okay? Like, I just don't want to bombard you with, you know, the whole like, comment, subscribe, but still, like, you guys should like and comment and subscribe, please. I really will appreciate it. And yeah.